Hello, my name is Bradley Burrows. I am originally from Wilmore, Alabama, which is a very small town in the Mobile County area. I did my undergrad at Auburn University, where I received a degree in communication and a minor in leadership studies. I was there for 4.5 years for school, and then spent about 15 months working there. 6 months was in the leadership office as a part-time program specialist, and then the other 9 months, I was in the admissions office recruiting students from Texas, a little bit from Mobile, and towards the end, Florida. So it was a great experience, but everything from my undergrad experience to my work experience at Auburn, I had a lot of just good moments with working with different student leadership organizations and programs. I was president of a freshman program. I was an orientation leader. I helped with Welcome Week, gave tours. So just everything outside the classroom is where I feel I got the most out of my experience and saw my potential and saw potential in other people. And that's how I kind of got into the idea of being in student affairs as a professional. I had a few advisors who were from SB State alums and told me about their program. And at the time, it worked out best. I got an offer, and so now I've been here for a whole year. I consider myself very, very Southern. So being from the Mobile, South Alabama area, attending a very conservative university for undergrad, and now being in Mississippi, I would definitely consider myself Southern. With ideology, with my mannerisms, with a lot of things, really. Probably the only thing I can get away with sometimes the way I talk doesn't sound too country, but that comes in and out depending where I'm currently or what the environment is around me. Being completely honest, my impressions of the following. So Mississippi State University, a lot of people compare Alabama and Mississippi to be very similar or say they're very similar states. I disagree. I think that though there are some similarities, to me it's just two different places, and that may be just where I'm from and what I'm used to for the cities that I've grown up in and lived in compared to the city I'm in now in Starkville. But I think Mississippi State's a very good school. It's a people's college, and I definitely see that reflected in the demographics. University of West Florida. Don't know much about them. I know they're in Pensacola, which is only around Pensacola area, so it's only about an hour and a half from where I live down on the coast. There's a stigma that says Florida is a geographically Southern school, but not a traditional Southern state, not school. And I kind of agree with that. I know a lot of people from Florida, and they definitely do have a different outlook than most people from what I would consider the South, especially people from like Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee. I feel like those states have very similar ideologies and perspectives, and Florida's a little bit different. So I guess that's my impression of the University of West Florida. Georgetown, George Washington, Gallaudet, and Catholic University. To me, first impression off the top of my head, since they're all close to DC, they already seem a little bit more liberal than what I'm used to, I guess. Not that that's bad or good. It's, I think, just different, and it would definitely be interesting to see how they work and function, especially within their student affairs, being so close to the country's capital, right there at the heart of politics, and to also, be not in the north, I guess considered to be in the south, but I would not consider them to be in the south. If in fact, I would definitely put them more towards the north, and again, just the way the culture is in the DC area. It will also be interesting to see how the two schools that are religious affiliated act. So if I'm assuming that these schools are already liberal, how does a religious school function? Is it more liberal? Is it actually pretty conservative? So I think it would be very cool to see, to be honest, especially if Gallaudet. I was thinking about it, for our tour that we will have at Gallaudet. In a way, this is the first time they're accommodating us because of our ability, and I think that's really interesting because as a tour guide back in undergrad, I never gave a tour to someone who was deaf or blind or mute or had any of those disabilities, and now to go to a school where we are actually the ones who are the ones that have to be accommodated for their tours. I think it's just an interesting thought to have. So I'm really excited to see how the schools are, especially being so close to DC, how their campus is laid out. I wonder how that plays into things. ACPA, NASPA seems more like where I would call home, because it does, to me, traditionally fall more within the Southern culture than ACPA, which may, in my opinion, fall more with a Northern culture. And again, I'm very comfortable in the Southern culture. I hope I'm never too comfortable in the Southern culture, but I don't know if I can ever be that comfortable in a Northern culture. And again, if I'm going to be transparent, ACPA may seem a little bit more out of reach and out of touch for me than NASPA will. But we may go to the respective offices, and I fall in love with ACPA, not as much NASPA. But I think for me, it's important to have an open mind going into both of them, so that my perspective or my views aren't what skews my opinions of it afterwards. Senator Wicker, I think he's going to be an interesting character, especially with the time we'll have with him, as well as the procedures we've already been given on what to do and not to do. If I could ask him a personal question, I don't know if there would be an opportunity to do so, but I would love to ask, how is it, or has he ever been in a situation where his personal views and perspectives did not align with his professional view? I think, firstly, for me, I identify as conservative, so I wonder how many times, or how I'm going to handle myself when a situation comes up in my job professionally that I may personally not agree with. And what does that look like? How do I handle it? And just get some more perspective on that, especially with student affairs leaning more towards a liberal mindset. How does that work for me? But I think that's something I'm going to have to figure out on my own and maybe do some research on. Probably not. And then what is my impression of the relationship between federal policy and Southern higher education? I don't know. I don't know much about it. I know that from our class discussion, it just seems that education is not a priority, and to ask for funding is like one of the worst things you could ever do. And in the sense where, like, we keep asking, but nothing is given to us, or maybe $1 is thrown our way. So it's frustrating. And I think something I would love to mention in a proposal for presenting at a conference is, how do we take our students and use self-authorships, the theory of self-authorship, to reframe the way we approach programs so we can save money, or use the money that we have, though it is little. I think we need to stop depending so much on the federal government to help us out, and just depending on ourselves and pull ourselves up. But I mean, that's my quick answer to that question. What do I hope to take away from this class? Short-term relationships. I think this is going to be a great week to spend with my classmates and colleagues from both Mississippi State as well as University of West Florida, and even our professors, and like Dr. Molina, Sarah, and Brad Hill. It would be, I think, cool to have like more of a rapport with them, or better rapport with them. And then also, too, long-term, I'm looking forward to the reflection after the trip to see, really personally, how can I use this week and this experience to market myself better for jobs. So what did I gain from this week that will use me, or that I can use for theory, or for an application, or for the way I look at things, whether that's through a conference or how another school does a student affairs initiative, and being able to use that to better myself, and again, to make myself more marketable for a job next year. I'm about to hit 10 minutes, and I don't want to waste any more time. So those are my answers. Hope they are great. And I will see you or whoever's. Bye. I'll see you later.